Hello, everybody. This is Chris. Before we start the show, I just wanted to let you know that we had some minor technical difficulties during the recording when one of our callers had some connection issues and we had some dropouts. But the content is great. It's Erik Wicks of Wicks Racing, Wicks Family Racing, and Kevin Jones, Ultra4Jones. So just quick heads up, a little bit of sound difficulties. We apologize for that, but hopefully you enjoy it anyway.
Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey, episode 195, recorded really remote. We've got 4 separate remotes going on here. Chris, how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am stressed, and I'm not even racing KoH. Just packing, and I thought I was ahead, but I'm clearly not ahead now. So here we are, just a few days before we leave.
That's right.
We were recording this on a Sunday evening before the 31st when this drops, and we got a lot to talk about this evening. We got a couple special guests here on the airwaves. So
yeah, we do.
We'll introduce those in a second. What do you got business-wise that we need to get out?
Well, I think we have at least one new review, and, we can go over.
People still listen and like us and write a review? That's awesome.
Apparently they do. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's, I don't know why, but, they do, and it's a good thing. So, we have this latest review, comes from Trucker Jones. Trucker
Jones? It's not Kevin Jones, is it?
I don't know. He drives a truck occasionally.
He does drive a truck. I mean, come on. Is it Trucker Jones? Is he maybe he's using his wife's phone or daughter's phone or something? Okay. What did Trucker Jones say?
So he said, awesome podcast. And then it's 5 stars, of course. And he goes, deep dive, long form style and racer interviews from rookies to winners. Pure gold. Sweet. That's awesome to hear.
That's a good review. I like that. It might be from Kevin Jones. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to call him up. Find out about that. Trucker Jones. I like that.
So that's the only review I've got right now. The other, I have to get into the spreadsheets and figure out what anniversaries are having. We'll cover all that in detail with our wrap up post KoH. There's just tons of information that's going to be in March. I mean, there's going to be a lot of regurgitation of information after KoH, but I mean, there's still tons and tons of stuff to get our listeners up to speed on for KoH. It's next week. I'm super stoked. Fucking Boone Road.
Can't wait for Boone Road.
So, yeah. Just a week away, we'll be on the lakebed having adult libations, wheeling and watching the fireworks and getting no sleep.
Right on. I can't wait. It sounds wonderful. Sounds magical. Well, anything else you want to let our listeners in on the guest here?
Let's roll into it, man.
You want to do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Everything good? Audio's good? Audio check? Lorenzo?
Yeah.
Lorenzo's giving us the high. He is excited. He is super. He had his mane really conditioned and everything. He's looking good for KoH, but I think he forgets.
Did you tell him Snail Trail's going to be there?
I told him that Jimmy's not going to be there, so he is extra excited about KoH.
Oh, right on.
He is. Good. He's super stoked. And he's got to check liver light too. So if he drinks too much, the little light starts flashing, and we got to put him away. So we'll put him back.
Perfect.
So it's
we should all have one of those.
Yeah, we really should. All right, our guest for this evening, we have Erik Wicks and Ultra4Jones. Welcome to the podcast, gentlemen. You guys.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, there we go. There's Erik.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, come on. You're a podcast pro here. How many podcasts have you been on, Kevin?
All of them.
38 or something? All of them. All of them.
It's easier to count the ones I haven't been on.
So are we in your top 5 at least?
You guys are still number 1, remember? We have each other's We
got
have each other's V card. Yeah.
V card.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't ever take that away.
Mm-mm.
That's great.
You,
Just like a
you gonna be on
college
Rogan
degree.
soon or what?
I wouldn't go that far.
So anyway, so this will be fun. I'm looking forward to this, guys, and yeah, we got to tell all the stories here leading up to KoH, and yeah. So Erik, my friend, what's going on? You're not racing. What the hell happened?
One of those things, the year was going amazing. Decided not to race after King of the Hammers last year. Decided to, just really work on the car and start building confidence and getting more seat time and making sure I was ready. And I decided to coach football this year for the first time. So I coached Truck University football and freed up some time and just kept getting after it. We ended up winning the state championship, so that was a big highlight for us this year.
That was huge.
It was just kind of a turn from racing and getting back to the community. And I went to Truckee High, graduated a long time ago, but the coach had been on me for quite a while and asking me to come out and coach the kids. And I told him yes, and his eyes just popped wide open. He was like, "Did you just say yes?" So that was a different experience. But yeah, it was keeping the car ready, and coaching football when everything was going great. And just car was prepped. And coming into Thanksgiving, we went out there and Justin and I and Chris and Ozzy and just put some miles on the car, and the car was running great. And brought it home and gave it a full prep. And was prepping my body in the gym, and just felt a pop, felt a tear, and got up and looked at Berger, and I said, that wasn't good. And like both of our faces, just long faces, and being so close to the race, and it was just I knew deep down what had happened, but I didn't want to completely give up hope. But I knew something was bad in my shoulder. And Kevin came up and we started prepping the car. He came up for a weekend, and we started putting the finishing touches on the car, which wasn't much. But then while he was here, I got my MRI results, and yeah, man, just devastating news that I tore my rotator cuff, and just at that point it was kind of clear that racing was going to be really difficult, and decided to pull the plug. And it's a bummer. A lot of people are excited, and our group was excited, and but things happen. It's unfortunate, especially being this close and this ready for King of the Hammers at the same time. So it's been kind of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I remember, talking with us, go back a few months, and you were so fired up and just pulling out all the stops, anything you could do to win this race and just make it happen, and super excited. There was a ton of momentum going in to your race program, and you called me and told me about that just go, dude, I might be done. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not possible. And unfortunately, everything was rolling so good until it wasn't. But I mean, this is real life shit, unfortunately. And so it's you're getting surgery and the whole thing. I mean, this is got to get fixed. So you are ready for 2024. So,
yeah, I got to beat Kevin Jones back in the driver's seat. He's still got some work to do. So get my shoulder fixed.
Shots fired.
Unfortunately, it's not like changing a U joint.
Right?
Your body takes some time.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly. It's not like you can get out the plasma cutter and the welder and throw a few parts at it and make it work. Its health is.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Oh man, I know. So Kevin, so you went up the weekend before. So you got the news, the MRI results that Sunday morning or something, Erik?
Yeah, a couple of my friends have been like, "Man, you're sleeping with the right person." So my wife's a pediatrician, and I'm getting into. I got into the orthopedist like within 24 hours of tearing my shoulder, and then I was in an MRI machine within 48 hours. So everything just happened really quick, and I'm still not scheduled for surgery. We're going to schedule that tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I can't tell you. I've been up in the shop like looking at it a few times and like tempted to climb in and tempted to
see if you can do it.
Go for it, but most of the people.
But as soon as they clamp down those,
I mean, you get this far, the car's ready. It's.
You got to be like afraid of what those shoulder straps would do to your shoulders when they get cinched down on you. I mean, I'm in, and then they cinch you down. It's like, oh my God.
Right.
Gosh, you got to think it'd be good for maybe the first hour or two with adrenaline, and then after that, it just you never know what it can be and what your body can take, and it's a tough decision for sure. I mean, you sit there and you wonder, I don't want to be a pussy, but at the same time, it's, you want to make sure I'm taking care of myself and not making the injury worse. And when I talked to the doctors and they said, there is potential for to do more damage out there racing and to be an excruciating pain, it's, how much fun are you going to be having?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to get the surgery scheduled. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen like in the next week, is it?
Well, there's a part of me that, it's a 6 weeks with it strapped to your chest, strapped to your body, so you can't move it at all.
Oh, yikes.
And right now I have some use of it. I mean, I could still use my hands, and down below my waist, I'm fine. And it's, so I figured I would wait till after King of the Hammers for the surgery, just because I don't want to be completely worthless down there. I still might be able to help. And just be a little bit more enjoyable. So I'm going to wait till after King of the Hammers to get the surgery.
Okay.
And
that's what I was wondering.
Probably as soon as we get back, I want to knock it out.
Yeah. So you're gonna try to be down on the lake bed at some point to help out, or at least morally support your nephew and your brother.
Yeah, man, I was wishing I was there today. It was such a watching him on the feed do the King of the Motos. I mean, he just killed it today, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
How about that?
Yeah, just to be down there. I mean, the banter between me and Justin and Chris, and just our inner that's fun. And I think we push each other, and so yeah, I want to get down there and do what I can, and just make sure that. They're set up and not only in a different capacity, and whether that's in the pits or on the radios or wherever they need me. It's different going down there without being in a car. But yeah, we're still got a lot to be excited about. Justin kicked it off right with his first leg of the King of the Motos and finishing that. At least it appears he's finishing that. I think he came in a little after time, but just to come across the line up,
just to complete the course. I mean, what a shit show at the start on Chocolate Thunder this morning, all wadding up, and I couldn't help but think of Kevin Jones watching this and going, "Oh, I'm so glad I didn't enter this race." But Justin, he sent out, I guess it was Facebook or something. I saw it immediately after he posted. I'm like, dude, that is freaking awesome that you completed that race. And I was just happy that he made it in one piece across the finish line too.
Right.
Kevin, what did you think of that start? You there? Nope. Kevin's gone.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Didn't want to step on Erik there. Yeah, I was able to watch yesterday and see Justin do the prologue in the afternoon, and super proud of him. I mean, having done that kind of pre-run with him a month and a half ago or whatever it was, I was nothing but impressed with, his riding ability and his humility, and physical fitness and just, I mean, everything about Justin is awesome. So youth, yeah, about his age and resilience and like, yeah. But so I mean, it's, you know, I had told him then, I said, dude, you're gonna crush it. You're gonna do so good, you know. But it was pretty validating today to see that, you know, he finished and he's right on that cusp of the time limit, and just to know that, like, okay, that means I would have been 3 hours back. You know, it's getting dark. I hear coyotes. You would have been
you would have been in Spooner Cabin, Canyon there.
Yep. Yeah, they would have named
a friend.
Yep, they would have named a new trail after me or something. You know, so.
Oh, jeez.
Ex-racer Kevin Jones trail or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, that's cool. So Erik, you're heading down, and well, we've got plenty of libations to keep your arm numb, and I'm sure Chris has got some prescription drugs and stuff too, if you need any of that. So we can keep you.
It's you know what? That's one thing, Jason. I've always been, you know, go down and take it easy before the race and make sure I'm hydrating, and I take it real seriously. So to go down and be a spectator now and just to be able to kind of let my shoulders down and
let your hair down,
have some fun. It's going to be a different experience. It's going to be really fun.
Okay. Yeah. So, it is. Well, Kevin can attest. Last year was your first year not racing, so you can sympathize with what it's going through.
Yeah, there's a little bit of FOMO for sure. You know, you get down there and you're like, man, I can't believe I'm down here without a car. But then at the same time, your stress level is so much lower, and you're able to kind of take in the experience a little bit more and just enjoy yourself. Because I mean, honestly, I feel like anybody that's driven or brought a race car or whatever can attest to this. It's hard to enjoy it while you're doing it, because it's so time consuming and so stressful. And it's not until it's over that you're really like able to kind of process what you've just been through for a week and a half. So I feel Eric's pain, but I hope he's able to, you know, have a good time.
Yeah. Well, we'll make sure he has a good time.
The pity party could only last so long. It's time to
That's
move
right.
on, right?
That's right.
You know what? And I'm glad you said that, Erik, because I mean, your attitude through this whole thing, I don't know. I know I wouldn't have handled it as well as you have, at least from my point of view, and talking with you, you know, before and during and after and this whole deal. And I'm just like, dude, I'd be like, F it. I'm not going. Screw you guys. I'm out. You know, I'm not going to watch anything, but you know, you got the right attitude. It's like, hey, it is what it is. You got family down there racing, so obviously that is another aspect of it. And yeah, I can appreciate your positive attitude. That's great.
Yeah, Chelsea will let you know my emotions have been through the full spectrum. Right. You know, I've gone from fuck it, sell it all, I'm done.
It's all for sale.
Hey, I'm sitting here and my car is fully prepped and ready to go for the next race, and you know, we could have a really good summer. You know.
Yeah. So, well, if it makes you feel better to have your car on the lake bed, I could leave my buggy at home and come pick up your car and bring it down there and drive it around all week if you want.
Oh boy,
get in line. That's been the number one text I can
I bet.
You know.
The next
I
thing
wouldn't
you
race
see
it
is
though.
Kevin Jones lined up with Jason as his dog.
No, I wouldn't race it. I'd just wreck wheel it. I'd wreck wheel the shit out of that car.
That's pretty sad, huh, Erik? Like, people are like, "How you doing?" And then they're like, "Can I have your car?"
So what about your car? It's all prepped and ready to go.
If you're not using it, yeah.
I'll fuck it up, and you can pay for the repairs, right?
It's like the body's not even cold yet.
I know, right? Ambulance chasers and shit. Oh God. Oh,
man, that's been another part of it too. Is I'm an independent. I mean, I don't have any sponsors. I kind of I do all this stuff on my own. So there's not a lot. There's not a lot lost other than time, which I know, we don't have a lot of time, and time is precious.
Sure.
But that in that regard, there's kind of a blessing there,
Yeah.
I can just go out and really look out for myself and not letting anybody down other than maybe Kevin and Chris and Justin.
No, I think Kevin's okay. He's always got plan A, B, C, D in his back pocket there.
I'm pretty resilient.
Yeah. He's a firefighter. He's used to quick change, right?
Yeah, we call it PACE planning: primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. So you always give yourself 4 plans.
I like that.
And if all else fails, just rev a chainsaw up and you're good to go.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, okay. Okay, so that segues into Kevin here. You are, you're helping out the Millers, Megan Miller, on 40, EMC day. She's racing 4,600.
4,600. That's right.
4,600, right?
Stock class TJ.
Yep. So you're helping out with that.
Yeah, Derek. Being a good husband, put his personal race car on the back burner to make sure his wife was ready to go. So they've decided to focus their efforts on Megan's Jeep, and he's put a lot into it. So he's been doing little logistical things the past few days and getting that trailer ready that he and I shortened.
Yeah, the bowling alley
a couple weeks ago. Yeah, the bowling alley.
How long was that trailer? What was the deck length?
The deck was 44, so I think once you added the goose, once you added the goose to pan, it was like 52 or something. Silly.
That's a huge trailer.
That's a huge trailer.
Yeah.
That's a bowling alley.
It's pretty hard to intimidate Derek, and he was the first to admit. He's like, I don't like driving this around.
What's your trailer, Eric? That nice badass trailer you got?
Oh, I think it's a 26-foot deck.
Is it? God, it seems
so. It's not even. It's just enough to get 2 cars on.
2 rigs on it. It's nice. That is a nice freaking trailer.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I towed a 53-foot gooseneck down, and that was that was an experience. That's a big trailer.
I liked like Paul Wolf and Levi Shirley. Those guys. I don't know if you guys saw them on IG when they were talking about the trailer length and coming into California and stuff. And
Arizona's where you got to watch out. Apparently. Yeah.
Just a wee bit over the full length, but
yeah, it's funny. They all had the same officer's name from like Kingman, Arizona office or something. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
So, okay, so you're helping out the Millers on Friday.
Yep.
Friday.
Yeah,
Friday is EMC.
Various levels of help too, right? So I'm loaning them my pit radio with my big 30-foot telescoping antenna for the whole shebang. They can use that and use that in whatever remote pit they need or however they want to set that up. I'm loaning them that fuel apron that they need to be legal for fueling.
Yeah,
so
sure.
So there's like some logistical I'm helping them, and then hopefully on race day I'm also able to pitch in a little bit.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's cool. And then next day, Saturday, you doing anything? You just spectating, or what's going on for the 4,400 race now?
I am bringing my helmet and race suit and boots and all that because Aaron Smith out of Texas built a bomber last year, raced a whole bunch of regional races this year, and then finished off a really good season sucking water into his engine at Nationals and bent a rod.
Oh, shit. Oh, boy.
So he has been absolutely scrambling the last couple months to rebuild the car, including a brand new engine. And he just got it installed, running on the trailer, and is literally driving to California as we speak. So
really, where's he out of?
I can't even get there from here, Texas. I don't even know. Somewhere in Texas.
Somewhere in Texas.
I mean, Texas is like 3 days wide.
Yeah.
So I don't even. Once you say Texas, I'm just like,
just
I
say
don't know,
Texas.
It's just
from
Texas. Yeah, he's from Texas.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you may have a right seat in another bomber car.
Yeah, he partners up with a couple of a stock class racer and a mod class racer, and they were all going to kind of share some pit responsibilities and all that. And he was in a situation where somebody was just going to jump in the car, and as soon as he saw that Eric's shoulder was injured, he called me, I think literally like 5 minutes later, and he's like,
"Oh,
what are you doing?"
Me.
Yeah. And I said,
hot commodity.
yeah, well, I don't know about that, but I think I'm just cheap, you know.
You're easy. You're easy. Cheap and
easy. I'm easy.
Cheap,
I get around.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Podcast
So
horror, right seat horror, just.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool that it's another bomber, you know?
Yep. It's another bomber. He built it himself. He's raced it all season. He's broken it. He's fixed it. He's broken it. He's fixed it. So I really kind of like, you know, what he's about, that it's his car and he works on it, just like Erik, you know? And yeah, I told him if he puts it on the dyno and he gets it tuned and he's happy with it and he wants to go racing, then we'll go pre-run and we'll build some notes and try and build a relationship together and see if we can get him. See if we can get him across the finish line. You know, he's never raced KoH. This has kind of been a dream of his for years and years and years. So, yeah.
How old is he?
I don't know. I don't want to insult him either by guessing. I'm just going to say I don't know.
Don't know. I'm going to go with a very diplomatic Switzerland.
I'm going to go with a very definitive I don't know.
He's never been to Hammers. He's never driven any of the trails.
He has been there, and he had actually bought a bomber chassis kit years ago with the intention of just building himself a cool trail car. Well, while he was at Hammers, he went and talked to Randy, and Randy gave him a ride in his race car.
Oh, that's all it takes.
And that's all it took. So Aaron decided, nope, I'm building a race car. So he went home and spent every dollar and every day and everything he had to build his bomber chassis kit into a full-blown 4400 car. And he did it. So
it's cool. So I actually had dinner with Randy last night, and I asked him, I said, do you know how many bombers are racing, you know, in all the different classes? And he goes, I don't know, but there's like 20 plus or something, you know. And it's amazing how many bombers are out there, right? And then the old bomber that's... How old is that car that's still racing? 12 years old or something?
Ones?
One of the original bombers that's still racing. But it was cool. So Erik, Randy's got all this, you know, his car prepped and stuff. And I said, oh, you got a little spicy motor there. And he goes, yeah, but Erik had a spicier motor. So you were known for the hotter engine package. And your car did sound rowdy, man.
It's no joke. When I was having it built, Randy was like, you're going to like that. And I didn't know if there was going to be that much of a difference after I had it freshened out. And Josh went through it and put in some flat top pistons and a different intake and different cam. And I got it back, and it's rowdy. It's fast.
It is. It sounds good, and it delivers. It backs up the sound. Oh, man. So, all right. So what are you guys thinking of this race course? You both watched the pre-show and kind of saw the course and what Dave has planned out this year. There's obviously some new trails and Zandy's trail that's cool to commemorate him. And I mean, it looks like it's going to be a fun course. And then qualifying on Chocolate Thunder and running around that mountain. That's gonna unfortunately, I think is going to weed out some people right at the beginning there that have some problems. These teams that are going to break during qualifying. I don't know. I just, it's pretty freaking brutal.
Yeah, I think the new terrain looked awesome. You know, it looked to go see some different trails that we haven't run, and Dave's been doing that a lot lately. But this one looked a little different. Looked exciting. Yeah, and then the Z-Walk trail. I'm lucky enough. I consider myself good friends with Zandy and the whole Rufus team, and I'm lucky enough to have witnessed a Z-Walk or two, and that's when you know the party's. That's when you know the party's going good at night
It's
around
on.
the fire, and you see a Z-Walk. And so when Dave named that trail, I heard him tell Angela the story. Just lots of switchbacks and Z's going up and down the hill, and he said he just thought of Zandy, and that's why he named it Z-Walk. So cool. I think that's pretty freaking cool.
That's super cool, man. I love the history behind these trails and stuff, and how, you know, even in California, we can still take this BOM land and create some ridiculously cool race courses down there. And then he's got that bomber, the old bomber trail buggy now. And so Dave, and he's been running all these cool trails, and like, okay, we can go here now. Let's try this one. And it's pretty exciting that you're not just stuck to this, you know, rudimentary, run-of-the-mill, we can only drive in this area deal, and there's some serious real estate down there to explore.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about how, if you go back and look in the fall when Dave goes out and he starts posting that he's kind of out and about and exploring and whatever, he was in that old 4700 spec car, right? Yeah. So he was building the course in that old 4700 spec car. Well, now he builds the course in a trail bomber. So I have a little bit of trepidation that, you know, the car he's out cruising around in is so much more capable, and that the courses are going to be like way gnarlier now, because he's going to find lines that he can pull off in the trail bomber and probably just make that race course. And, you know, if you're not in a car that can rock crawl like a bomber, you know, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah, and like going up King's Vito this year, is that correct?
Yeah, on lap 3 we go up King's Vito.
Yeah, so I walked that, and it was gnarly, dude. There's some massive, massive boulders out there, and to go up it without gravity helping you, it's working against you. I don't know, man. It looks gnarly.
That's where I think my practice, you know, winching the 6,500 pound F350 up, you know, will maybe come in handy. Yeah. You just run enough pulleys and stuff, and you can lift a car up a mountain. Yeah,
all right.
Right.
Good. At race pace.
At race pace.
Race pace, right.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, some of the advice given to me so far has been to spend considerable time looking at Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
that one's got
looks
some
gnarly
tricky spots. You know, I typically I don't worry too much about going down stuff, but you know, I mean, I'm sure on it's just anything I've never seen before, like Z-Walk or you know, what's the other one we go down? Blue Dot is a parallel kind of above Claw Hammer. You know, those are trails I've just never.
Is that a play off of Red Dot or what? Why did?
Yeah, Did you hear that? So they thought they were like the first ones up there, Dave, when he was cruising around, and then they found a body panel off of one of Kevin Carroll's Red Dot cars sitting up there, and they said it had been there for a long time, so they called it Blue Dot.
That's a cool piece of history right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's for me personally, it's the trails I've never seen that I have significant trepidation, but that's why you pre-run. You know, you go figure that stuff out.
So let me ask this question of both Eric and Kevin here. I'm a rock crawler. I love rock crawling. I think you guys are rock crawlers at heart. How does the desert fit into your program? Like, do you really like it? Is because it's different and it's fast and it's exciting, or is it like, you know, part of the race and you got to do it, obviously? But you know, what are your thoughts on the go fast desert stuff? Is that, you know, as a rock crawler?
I think for me, it was, you know, once I was doing the rock crawling thing, I was, you know, doing some cow rocks and some
cone dodging,
super crawl.
Yeah.
And, you know, some cone dodging events. And that was a lot of fun. And but then you get out there and you get to, do 85, 90 in the desert, and that's fun too. So you get that combination of both. I like the desert. It gives you a different challenge, and it separates a lot of the field. But for me, that's something that I've had to learn a lot about. Even rock crawling, though, I think it's one thing to go out there and to see the lines. It's another thing to see the lines while you're grabbing second and third and four low and going fast.
Right. Right.
When you can start doing that in the rocks, I mean, that's when you're picking up a lot of time on some of these guys. But the desert's a lot of fun too. I mean, you just gotta be dialed. You can't let something sneak up and grab you, because a lot can happen real quick in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy the desert. It's fun. It adds that other spicy taste to it,
Spicy taste. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I like that word, spicy.
Yeah. What do you think, Kevin? What's your take on the desert?
I think we all pull from our backgrounds. So for me, a kid that just grew up on a dirt bike, I like riding through the open desert. I think it's fun. I think it's flowy. Nobody, whether you're on a bike or a car or a truck, it doesn't matter. Nobody likes whoops for like 20 miles. But
no,
as long as you're kind of flowing through the washes and up and over, through saddles, and I love the rapid change of scenery. I like Erik was saying, that it lets everybody kind of spread out and get your kind of your day going. I enjoy that part of it, but I like it. I like the desert. I know a lot of guys are like, I want more rocks and stuff, but I just really like going fast. I don't push it. I don't push it that hard. Like I'm not aggressive in the desert. I'm really conservative, because I know that if you roll the car or you hit a G out too hard and go end over end, I know your day's over. But I also embrace the desert as a place to be really efficient. So I value, good pre-running, good course notes, making good time in the desert, because I feel like it can really buy you some time to be calculated, in the rocks and stuff.
That was my next question. You just led right into. Perfect. It's like, so do you feel, that the race can be won or lost in the desert? I mean, is it all about getting those positions passed there in the desert?
I was talking to a racer today, and I'll leave his name out of this because I didn't tell him we were going to talk about this or anything. I was just genuinely asking him.
Lauren Healy, go ahead.
I was genuinely asking, and the conversation started around the fact that Erica Sachs made the course this year through the desert, and she now has her notes for sale. And I said, "Hey, what do you think? Like, she's selling her notes for $150. Do you think they're worth it, or what's a good strategy? I'm trying to take this navigator concept seriously. Like, what's the best use of time and money?" And he said, her notes are really good. You should absolutely buy them. And then he also said, I'm not going to pre-run the desert at all, which blew my mind. He said, I'm just going to spend all my time in the rocks because I feel like the race is won or lost in the rocks.
Oh, okay.
And kind of like Erik just mentioned a minute ago, where you're now grabbing gears, quote, in the rocks in low range. Like,
right.
That's something I personally have never done. I would get into the rocks and put it in low range and put it in first gear, and I would go aggressive rock crawling in first gear until the trail ended and shift back into high range and then rip out into the desert. But, Erik had talked about what we were going to do and what the car would tolerate, and I was really excited to see how fast a well-built car can go in the rocks. And I think what these guys are all alluding to is all the cars are going very similar speed in the desert. So it's really maybe now who can go that much faster in the rocks, because, if I'm going 0.5 miles an hour, but, Erik is going to go 5 miles an hour because he had the balls to shift to third gear, then that's going to make a significant time difference when you talk about the overall elapsed time for the day when you're running 24 rock trails.
Yeah. What do you think, Erik? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think my mindset to this point, even last year going into that race was really just to survive the desert, to go fast, but just to survive it and keep the car together and then make up time in the rocks. And you can make up a lot of time in the rocks, but I still think, when you're looking at some of these new cars, you're looking at, Lauren Healy and Von Gittin and, heaven knows what freaking Cher's going to do this year and
right.
How fast they're going to go in the desert. And they could really put a lot of time on you if you're not carrying a pace, and those guys are tough to keep up with. I mean, they're gone anyway. They're hours ahead of us already. So I think that kind of speaks to how important it is to have a pace in the desert, to get there, to have clean air, not deal with dust. And then also once you get into the trails, to have no one in front of you, no trail plugs, and be able to pick your lines. That's all benefit. So I think you definitely got to be, you got to be fast in the desert. You got to be fast in the rocks. I mean, all around, these guys and the cars that they're driving now are just, they're amazing, and they're only getting stronger and faster and better. And, so it's going to take a hell of a day, no matter how you you're going to have to be fast everywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the tech that's going to be displayed on the lakebed this year. I mean, you just mentioned Von Gittin and Lauren Healy and of course Scheer. I mean, at least one of those cars is going to be running live shocks this year, and it's going to be interesting to see. I think, all of them. So of course they have horsepower. They've got, the technology, the support. I mean, it's crazy.
Sponsors,
it's legitimate issues for sure.
With that said, though, and I've alluded or said it in other podcasts, it's like I like the simplicity of a bomber car. I mean, it just flat out works, right? It may not be the fastest car in the desert, but it will fucking rock crawl around any, circles around anybody out there, and it's obviously been proven time and time again. This isn't just some,
Well, it's about points of failure, right? I mean, you got these highfalutin exotic cars with their portals and their IFS, IRS, live shocks. I mean, like
more widgets,
a lot of stuff, and it seems like, Cam Steele every year he seems to blow a portal box. I mean, that's not perfected. It's not foolproof. It's not guaranteed. So, I mean, the bomber is simple. It's durable. And, it's easily repaired if it needs to be, I imagine, in the pits or even on the trail. But, I mean, we'll see what we see. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
the simplicity of the bomber, that's why I ended up jumping into the bomber. I didn't really even start wrenching until I was probably in my 25, 26, 27 age. And so to look at simple cars, and when I looked at bombers, I looked at it, I said, this is something I can maintain. It's simple, it makes sense, and it kicks ass. Those cars are amazing. And from the day I got into it to today, I'm still working to drive that car to its fullest potential, and I'm not there yet. Obviously, Randy's a testament to that. He freaking puts it on. He puts it on me too. So it's like I know that I'm not reaching that car's potential, which is pretty wild, and I know that there's a lot more in it. So it's it's exciting to think that, though, too, to think that I have a car that I can still go faster. I could still grow in even after 3 years of driving it.
And that's cool. That's I like what I'm hearing here. What were you gonna say, Kevin?
A couple thoughts. One was I can't even think of the kid's name right now, but his Instagram is Soul Portraits. What's that kid's name?
Mike.
It's
Jeff.
Mike.
It's Mike Saul.
Okay, so he was out with Randy like a year ago out at Randy's place, and somebody just reposted like yesterday some of the footage they shot.
Adam, that's who works with Balmer.
Yeah, that's okay. Adam. Yep.
I was watching that footage of Randy coming around that turn and just blowing it wide open and sliding through the bushes and stuff, and I'm like, there's nobody that can drive that car to that potential like that man. I mean, to have the confidence to stay in it like that, when you blow your line and know that staying on the gas is better than lifting. And it's just, I mean, once you've driven a car, like being able to watch stuff like that is so impressive. But, whether we talk about, is it one in the desert or is it one in the rocks? I truly think 4,400, and granted, I'm not a 4,400 racer. This is just a guy that's passionate about studying it. I think 4,400 is at the point where everybody is at the top of their game, in that top 10, and you're relying on the other 9 guys to make a mistake or have a bad day.
That's true.
I mean, I think that's where it's at. I think, Cameron Steele's way out front, and then his highly technological car, malfunctions.
Yeah.
Right.
And Randy takes the win because he's been consistent and on your heels all day. But I think every year it's just all top 10 guys in 4,400 could win, or pace to win. Like, what was it a couple of years ago where the lead changed? I don't know how many times, and Bailey Campbell was in the lead, and then
we thought Bailey was going to win it. Yeah,
her water pump pulley fell off.
Yeah,
what are the chances? So, I just from the outside looking in, I feel like the top 10 in 4,400 is you've got to be perfect everywhere all day, and somebody else in that top 10, falls apart.
Right. You need to have a boring day. Just everything clicks and car works great and is just a cruise, right?
Yep.
It's no different than a professional sport like football, NFL. I mean, we're in the NFL playoffs right now, and the Super Bowl is set. But I was watching the ball game, the Bengals and the Chiefs earlier, and it was a good game. But it was like you just said, they're two great teams. They've made it to the conference championship, and waiting for one of the teams to make a mistake, and whether it's an interception or a fumble or whatever. But that's how at the top levels how people win.
Yeah, there's just it's gotten so competitive. And but again, I go back to there's just let's take Cody Wagner's car again. It's just crazy technology, money, everything into that car, right? And you go back to the basics of what consistently wins hammers. And I mean, those solid axle cars have proven that they work in the desert, in the rocks, and win races. And, minus any mechanical, failures throughout the day. I mean, there's a ton of capable drivers out there. But it's just, if everything just lines up and you spin that wheel of fortune and there you go, you cross the finish line first and your car's still together. But, man, that's what makes this race great is there's a lot of unknowns, I mean, so many factors play into race day, and I haven't even raced this thing. I'm just passionate about, the sport and talking about it and talking to racers and stuff. But I mean, just think about it. I mean, from the weather conditions to the rocks that are moving constantly on the course to dust, that goes back to weather, whether you can see or not. If you're trailing in dust all day, I mean, it's just, there's so many things going on throughout that entire 9-hour trip through the Johnson Valley, proper. I just, you guys as racers, and I don't know what it's like sitting in those driver's seat or passenger seat and just taking it all in. I mean, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
I was trying to think of, Aaron and I have met in person, the guy from Texas, right? That's bringing his bomber out. We met in person in 2021 at Hammers, and then we've stayed in touch ever since. And he and I have had a couple of phone calls over the last couple of weeks. And, I try to think of the things to tell him. to kind of wrap his head around what to expect and what to anticipate. And as he's, building the car and packing up his trailer, like, this is just kind of your mindset, and for a guy like him that wants to finish KoH, it's certainly going to be a little bit different gear than a guy that wants to, like Erik, when Erik and I were going to be in the car together, we were talking about, hey, we're both coming off 3 consecutive KoH finishes. Who gives a shit about another participation trophy? Like,
right.
Let's go for it. Right.
Right.
So, and we were on that same page. And I think when you have that mindset, you're going to push harder than you should, because everybody's pushing that hard and you're banking on those other guys to have a bad day. But for a guy like Aaron that just wants to finish, you truly have to treat the day as your own race. You don't pay attention to the other cars. If they come up behind you and they give you the push to pass, you just pull over and let them go by. Because chances are 10 miles later, they're going to be broken down, upside down, flat tired, stuck on a rock, like whatever. So you discount all the other people because you're literally out there to do your own thing. But I think when you want to run at the level that Erik wants to run at, you have to view everyone as, the competition, the enemy, the possible, reason you're not on the podium. So it's, I think if you have a goal and you have a mindset, you can approach the day that way. But yeah, I look at all these guys that are coming out, this is Paul Wolf's first time in a 4400 car, right? He's been crushing it in that UFO car all year. So I think Paul's a serious contender. He knows how to go fast. He knows how to run at that pace. The guy builds his own car. He goes through his own parts. Like to me, Paul Wolf is legit a threat this year. Randy is like, I think it was before the recording. He's more prepared than he's ever been.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful place to be. Jason Shears in a brand new car that's got a transfer case designed by him for him that they've already voiced has temperature problems. So I worry about like new car blues for a guy like Jason. I'd love to see Jason on Jason, on top of the box.
Jason squared.
Jason squared.
Cubed.
And then. But you can't say, a new car can't win, because look at what the Gomez did last year.
Right.
They had a brand new car delivered to the lakebed and won the race. So it's like you say, it's whether you race it or you spectate it, it doesn't matter. It's the reason it's so cool is because everybody builds a different mousetrap. Everybody has a different philosophy, and everybody kind of at the top of the food chain has a fair shot.
Absolutely.
This could be a year of a 4-time king, or it could be a year of a brand new king.
Yeah.
No doubt. And we'll know soon enough.
Erik, what are your thoughts? It's
I go back to the first time I finished King of the Hammers, and how polite I was out there, and how I was just trying to get through the trail, and somebody was behind me, I'd move over. And if somebody was in front of me, I'd stay behind them. And, over the years, it's like, you start to realize you can't let that stuff happen. You can't let yourself get lulled to sleep. And, when you're racing, it's a lot different. And, so last year we kind of took it as, hey, we're racing now. And, I got a taste of that last year where you're kind of, toying with top 10 and messing around with, some big names in the game, and it was fun. And when you're racing and you're pushing the car and you're realizing like, hey, I can push this car, and the car is still just fine. The car is plenty capable. And but you start to realize that, and you start to, then your mindset changes of, I'm not sitting behind this guy. I'm going to nerf him, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get around him. And the sirens are out, and that's fun. Get around them, get moving, make up time. And every time you hit a trail, I mean, you can make up minutes. And to to have that mindset, and that light that goes off. And it took me 2 or 3 years, and probably too long. I need to be more competitive, and I'm a competitive guy. But once that switch goes off and you realize that, hey, we are racing. It is a race. Let's go. So that's what I was excited about this year, is to look at it from start to finish in that mindset, and to hit these trails, and to really just hammer down and not be a nice guy, and to hurt some feelings. It's all right.
That's awesome. I loved it. That's really cool to go through that journey, right? Of like, oh yeah, hey, we're just okay. Come on through. You're faster, but now you're just out for blood, and that's and I know this whole thing sucks that you're not racing, but I mean, all of us at different levels are disappointed, right? I mean, it was like when unfortunately the other Kevin stepped away, your previous co-dog, and you're like, okay, I need a new co-dog, and then Kevin Jones' name came up, and I go, God, I stepped back and I thought about knowing both of you individually, right? Having a relationship with you, Erik, having a relationship with Kevin, and I'm like, dude, this is a good freaking match. The way both of you think and operate, and you really hadn't known each other. I mean, you knew of each other and maybe talked or had a few beers together, but nothing, you clearly weren't friends or anything. And it was like that co-dog, driver relationship is super important. But as me, outsider, podcaster, and all this stuff, I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to see this team hit the start line. So
it was kind of weird how it all happened, Jason.
Yeah.
Justin had told me, hey, I'm going down to run motos with Kevin Jones, and I was like, oh, right on, that'll be fun. And I think he kind of just threw it out there to Kevin, like, hey, Erik needs a coach driver. And then Kevin sent me a message, and it was like, I started thinking about it, and then I started thinking back to that original claw hammer challenge that I did in that old Ford, where the fucking pumpkin pointed up to the bed of the truck and all the ratchet straps under it. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, number one, Justin said, this guy has no quit in him. This guy has an amazing attitude, didn't complain once. And then you go watch something like that, and you look at his ingenuity on the trail and how he got that truck up claw hammer, and it was just like, man, one thing after another on that truck. But you can tell from that video, he's calm, and and I just said, that's what I want in my seat. And we had a couple conversations, and I think we're all on the same page. We both have families, and it was just kind of like this could work, and it could be something real special.
Oh yeah. Well, 2024.
Welcome to another year.
We can, Erik had some good idea.
Doesn't that fucking suck though? Just to wait another year. Like the fact that this race only comes up once a year, and it's just man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Erik had tossed around some other ideas of like, well, what if we did some other race outside the box, and nothing would require the tenacity or perseverance that like a KoH does. But, yeah, I mean, I love the thought of that, whatever those attributes like Erik's was describing that he saw, whether it was stories from Justin or watching a YouTube or something that, I mean, to me, it's just the worse it gets or the harder it gets, like the more I embrace it. Like there's no point in getting frustrated. Like, let's just figure this out. I don't need to involve emotion. I don't need to whatever. I'd rather actually just overcome this, because then I want to have a cool story. Like you kind of just mentioned, if you start a race and you lead a race and you win the race, like you have the dumbest story.
You got a weak story. Yeah. It's like,
there's nothing cool to talk about. It's like, we took
flat
off.
Tires.
Yeah. It's like, we took off, we drove, and then we won. Like, no, I mean, I know that if you have gnarly stories, you're probably not finishing the story with you won, but like, dang, man, I mean, I think we're all doing this because of the adventure. Trophies are amazing, but I mean, at the end of the day, at some point, we're all going to be like 70-year-old men on our porch in a rocking chair, telling some young whippersnapper like how cool we used to be. And if you don't have stories like this, like what are you going to talk about? So I, good or bad, I embrace the day. Like that's just period. So
Well,
I look forward.
Cool, so
Yeah, I look forward to getting in the car with Erik someday. And I don't, whether it's King of the Hammers 24 or who knows what. Like I think it's cool. I've really enjoyed getting to know him better, and he's a hell of a man. He's a good family man. So it's I know we're bummed about the situation that we're in right now, but I still think of how fortunate I am that these opportunities have all come together, and the people I've met. It's a blessing.
You put yourself out there, right? I mean, it's like if you were just this hermit introvert that nobody would know about you, right? So you've done your diligence and whore yourself out, whatever it is.
Hold on, not whore. Escort, Jason.
Escort. Ultra4Jones escort service.
I'm going to be the Ultra4 escort. Okay, I am high end. I want to get to the point where
the day I told Kevin, I'm pretty sure the day I told Kevin, I was like, Kevin, somebody's going to snag you up quick. And sure enough, 5 minutes, you said?
Yeah. That's a good point. All right.
We're in agreement. There it is. Heard it here on Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
A high-end Ultra4 escort service. I love it.
Holy
That's a whole other deal. That could be another added benefit on the, King of the Hammers lineup that we got massages on the lakebed this year, laundry service, you can get IV, beer, all Dang Brothers Pizza, and then you got escort service. That'd be good, Erik.
Kevin Jones's escort service.
Have helmet will travel. There you
go. Cuidado.
No, but seriously, that I was so looking forward to that whole deal unfolding on race day between the two of you. But it is what it is, and I love it. Both of you have a great attitude and understand racing, and it is what it is. And just to be down on the lakebed and all that whole KoH,
ambiance.
Oh yeah, it's so good. So, so we've got 900 plus racers this year or something.
Yeah, the email I just read today, I think, said 897 registered competitors.
I mean, so that's all categories: motorcycle, trophy trucks, everything.
And all the way down to the 170cc youth class, that they're debuting this year. But I mean, that's still, that's huge.
I mean, and Havertown's already opened and running, and I mean, this is crazy. And the 4,000 pounds of crab that the brewery's going to put on the feed. I couldn't believe that during the pre-show. I'm like, what? You guys are going to, okay.
2 tons of crab. 2 tons of crab. How do you get in on that? Is there a sign up, or you just show up and munch, or what?
I don't know the details on that one. I did see, though, that MAO that bought, the Ultra4 series, Ultra4 USA, the Robinettes, they've brought some of their influence to King of the Hammers. So they provided the King of the Moto guys with like a dinner the other night.
Oh,
and
nice.
I believe they're doing that for all the race nights. So for UTV and EMC and 4400, I think they're doing they call it like a driver's appreciation dinner.
Oh, good.
So I don't think it's a crab boil, but I'm sure it's a lovely meal.
Nice meal. More than hot dogs.
Yeah.
Hot dogs at back door.
Wow.
So, sorry, I don't know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you've been to KoH a few years, you know.
That's right.
So the 4,400 race course is 190 miles ish. Is what?
Yeah, I believe that's what they said on the live show.
3 laps, 190 miles, and then what?
Do you want to talk about like the way the course is debuted now, or do you just want to?
Yeah,
that's a whole separate.
I know. No, we can.
I mean, is that a whole nother episode, another day, or?
I don't know. Go ahead. You've already brought it up. What do you got?
All right. Well, I mean, Chris can edit it out. You know, it's. So last year during Dave Cole had always said that the part of the mystique of King of the Hammers was the race course is not released until a few days before,
Thursday before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Last year during the live show, so early January, there was a point in the show where he turned his laptop around and showed the camera some of the Google Earth. And I remember in that moment thinking, this is going to change. This is going to change the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this year he went, even farther and just showed, put Google Earth on the screen and kind of flew everybody around and showed them. Well, it wasn't a day later that another racer said, "Hey, I have a whole GPX file if you want it." And I was like, "What did you do?" And he said, "I paused the live show, I don't know how many times, 30. Yeah, as often as he needed." He said, "I opened Google Earth in parallel format and I built the race course just as Dave showed it, and now I have a GPX file if you want."
Right.
And I said, "Well, are you selling it or what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'll take donations." So I Venmo'd him. I don't even remember what I sent him, $30 or something, just trying to be somewhat courteous or nice. And so for 2 weeks, I've been sitting on the GPX file of give or take 30, 50 feet is the race course.
Kidding.
And now, I mean, it's pretty simple. You follow social media and you see what the players are posting. There's been guys out pre-running the exact race course for over a week already. So it's kind of my worst fear realized, because now you've afforded the people with the
unlimited funds or resources. the guys with the money, with the unlimited resources that have the time off work and the cars to destroy and stuff. They're out there running race course. Everything but the Marine base, right? We all kind of understand you can't drive on the Marine base until Thursday at noon. But that's all desert stuff, right? I mean, there's no rocks on the Marine base, is there?
Right. No, it's all just desert miles, but maybe there's some good kind of cheater lines and ways to straighten out turns and stuff out there. But it's just different now. I've spent a lot of time in the last couple weeks thinking about, I'm not behind the wheel this year, but if I want to do well behind the wheel in future years, how am I going to process this information and what is my plan going to be? And I can't help but think, the car needs to be sitting in the garage mid-assembly or some part of the process when the live show goes down, but I need to be on the lakebed the next day in some sort of backup car or Razor or I don't know what, and running course and making my notes and checking out. Because, I mean, you've got guys that have seen Thor's hammer however many times they want by now, but I've never seen it once. So if you truly want to be competitive, you're going to have to force those opportunities for yourself. So if Dave's going to continue to share the course like he did this year, everybody that truly wants to be competitive is going to have to figure out a way to spend more time there.
Oh, for sure.
What do you think, Erik?
Yeah, no, when I saw that, I was ready. I was like, the trail bomber's in the garage, fully ready to go. The Razor's ready to go. And it was like, man, let's get down there early. Let's pre-run. And I knew Kevin was ready to go with his laptop and just ready to take notes. And, I think getting eyes on it and knowing where you're going and the transitions from trails. And, if you get the opportunity to run those, multiple times, then that just, it eliminates those wrong turns, which we had a couple of those last year, and usually you have a couple every year. And, if you can eliminate those, and you're taking minutes off your time, and, so there is a benefit to getting that course file early and to be able to go out there and look at those trails for sure.
Yeah, like Shannon running Jack twice last year because he got I mean, so that's where the benefit is, because we all know the trails change minute by minute. Every car that goes up, rocks are moving, but having in your back of your mind, back pocket, so to speak, of alternate lines if somebody's wadded up in a tough trail, of knowing, hey, I know there's a line off to the right up here that we can get around this car.
Right.
And the directional aspect, like you talked about, Eric, it's like, okay, I know as soon as I come out of XYZ trail at a Thor's Hammer, I'm making a hard right and going by the monkey holding a grape or whatever freaking Dave talked about. So knowing in the back, knowing where you're going and having those landmarks that aren't changing, that are on the hillsides or whatever, of that flow. It adds to the flow, I guess. As a driver and co-dog there, it's like, okay, we're going to go up here, we're going to bang a right, going to go down this hill, bang a left, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, there definitely is an advantage, even though the trails themselves are changing. But, yeah.
I always say there's enough variables in your day that knowing where you're going shouldn't be one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth.
That should be completely out of your mind. Like, we know, with zero doubt that when we come out of the top of Spooners, we bang a hard left like we did last year or whatever. None of that, just kind of like, you just start going straight, and the next thing you know, the GPS is like tailing off in another direction, and you're trying to figure out which way's up. It's just the course should be dialed, by the time you take the green flag. And I'm with Eric. We've made wrong turns and stuff, but that's the stuff that you're kicking yourself over, because whether you're out of the top 10 by 40 seconds or off the podium or whatever, like that's what matters. You've got to have that stuff. I couldn't help but think, you talked about, like you said, Jack. It made me think about the either or, which Eric and I spent some time thinking about. You want to talk about that one, or?
Yeah, go.
So, Eric, chime in here. What they announced, we could go up Jack or up Sledge. What was our conversation?
What was our conversation? I was thinking, for me, it was, Sledge is obviously a shorter trail. Jack, when you get to the top of Jack, you have to head the far left up the hill, all the way back around to the mailboxes. Whereas Sledge, if you can get that, if there is a solid winch point, I mean, you can get through Sledge pretty quick. So that's where my mind was. And then also knowing the other lines. I mean, there's Randy Slauson's drop at the top of Jack, where, we were going to have to go get eyes on that. And then also having a valid spotter in there to let you know if there's traffic, so there's a lot of, when you get that option, it's a lot of fun with the race. I mean, you could make that decision right there and then sometimes, and you may have a plan and that plan changes, and that I like that, the alternates there. I think that adds a lot of fun to the trail.
Yeah, I do too. Eric and I were both watching the live show, and Dave kind of announced that, and like, take all the other trails that he announced out of it. Like, that was the thing that most drivers probably keyed in on and got excited about, was like, wait, like, in a day of you telling me for 9 hours where I have to go, like, I have a choice. So, instantly you start applying strategy and tactics, and Sledge is a straighter line, but obviously it's got, the plaque rock and that whole component. So it's like, but then if you go up Jack, you're doing this giant zigzag, and upper Jack, the exit is horrible. I hate that part. Yeah. And with the goal being getting to the mailbox before you continue on, it's like, well, what else does it open up? And, I spent a good part of yesterday staring at race course, trying to think about what they call it, bombs away. Is that what kind of Randy's line is called?
Oh, is that what they're calling it?
I think, is that what they said, Eric? Is that kind of the nickname for Randy's line?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I just heard I just heard him reference Randy.
Yeah,
I like that though. Bombs away.
Right? I mean, a bomber, and the downhill.
Bombs away.
I mean, if anybody that's listening has ever stood at the mailbox, and if you're facing as if you look down sledge from the mailbox, if you kind of look at your like 1 or 2 o'clock, there's a 2-track that just like goes up to the sky. And what they're talking about is coming down that. And I've always looked at those kind of tire tracks or ruts or 2-track and gone, man, that looks really scary. So now I think that's essentially fair game. I think that's race course this year if we want to. Yeah.
So that's what you marked out on your social media there.
That's what I put out yesterday is like, hey, who's familiar with quote bombs away? And that was what kind of came back as a resounding, that's the line. And I'm like, ooh, man. So, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's fun when you're signed up for this race and you get to go spend those, 3, 4, whatever days out pre-running. You go park the rig, you walk stuff like that. You drive it once, you scare the piss out of yourself and, decide it's doable or whatever. And you talk about your strategy for the day and whether it's, we're going to take sledge, but what if it's congested? Okay, we take jack. Well, what if that's congested? Do we take bombs away or is bomb, again, it goes back to my, what's your primary, what's your alternate, what's your contingency, and what's your emergency plan? So I think that's all part of, a good race strategy is spending time out there looking at all that stuff and figuring out how you want to eat this elephant.
That's exactly. And I love
one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. But I mean, having all those in your back pocket, that's the key in being prepared, right? I mean, and you think about how this race has evolved over how many years now? 17 years. From just racing 16, for a 12-pack. And then Eric's thinking, Kevin's thinking, I can see him. I can see the gears turning. There's
you need to take your shoes off?
There.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize it was that old. I had to.
Yeah.
I had to kick my shoes off and keep counting years.
Yeah, you're not crazy. Even that old, see?
I know. That's crazy.
Happened.
That's crazy.
But, think about, how this has gone from just total wreck wheeling / a little racing involved to where it's now full-blown, competition. We've talked about this before on the podcast with Ford getting involved and some big names, big money, sponsorships right now. I mean, God, it's a mouthful just to say, King of the Hammers put on by, Progressive or whatever, and then powered by Optima battery and all these sponsorships involved now. Yeah. It's like
Monster,
that just it's ginormous, absolutely ginormous and exciting. But it's changed the game. It has totally changed the game, and it's if you want to be competitive, you want to win the race. There's so much more that goes into it, and strategy, and just not planning. We fuel up the car and we're going to hit the race course and whatever happens. No, it's crazy.
Well,
there's a lot on the line now. People have industries and businesses have been created out of this, jobs, careers. So it's
And what's the winner get this year? 110?
110, yeah.
110K. That's
so
nothing to stick at.
They get half of what they spent to get there?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how you make $1 million in racing, right?
Yeah,
you
start with two.
Yeah. It's not about that, right? Though it's the experience and everything else. I mean, you don't do it to make money. You do it because of these life experiences. And I mean, holy crap, it's unbelievable. The camaraderie and stuff out there on the lake bed, and and Erik can attest to this. Being part of the, meeting the Rufus team and these guys, Pip and stuff from Australia. I mean, it's just that never would have happened if, you weren't out there getting after it in the desert. So
Nope.
It's cool stuff. It's life experience, right?
Yeah, and that's something, you got all these rookies coming out there, and they need to be aware of that, man. Like you never know it, but the people camping right next to you might be your new best friends, and that's what happened when we met Zandy down there, and Pip and all these Aussies just stumbled upon our campfire, and we had no idea at the time. It was our first year at King of the Hammers, and all of a sudden here we are six years later, and it's like, I would talk to Zandy once a week. I would talk to Pip now. I probably talk to Pip once a week now as well, and so I mean, it's very true when you're down there. I mean, everybody's got the same goals, the same interests, the same hobbies, and everybody wants to see everybody succeed. And it's real special when you think all your friends are set in stone, and then you continue every single year making new best friends, which is awesome.
Sure.
So
special. That's a great word. It is special. It's hard to describe.
No doubt. I mean, when I met you and your brother and your nephew, when you came up to Meadow Lake, my God, it's 2 years ago now.
3 years ago, yeah.
Was it? Almost 3 years ago. And I rode right seat in your trail.
Last year, wasn't it?
No, it was 2 years ago.
It wasn't last year.
Rode right seat in your trail bomber, and that was my first experience getting a rollover. That was good times. So, but I mean, that solidified our friendship, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that was always Zandy's thing is, hey, we're just two Bud Lights smashing together. Hey, we're just out here creating memories, and that's, believe me, I told you my mind has gone through the full spectrum of being upset and bummed out, and today I was like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna watch the race and hang out with Angela all day, and that could be something real special. Angela's Andy's wife.
Yeah.
We're camping with them. We always have, and it's gonna be a special year. There's gonna be a lot of emotions in our camp. A lot of good times too. I mean, the campfire is gonna be great, and this year is gonna be a lot of fun, and we're
heck yeah.
Gonna make it fun, and just continue, like Zandy said, continue creating memories every chance we get.
Right.
Excellent.
Right. Well said. I like it. So, any predictions on let's just 4400 race? If you had to pick a winner, what do you got? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller?
Can I speak up?
I'm always going to go with Justin and Randy, but I think Kevin kind of talked about him a little bit. You guys had him on the show last week, and I think Paul's got a great chance to win.
Man, that guy can drive. I really wanted to get him on the show, and I was super stoked to get him on the show.
Did you see his new? Oh wait, I'm gonna fuck this up. Livery.
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 You say it wrong.
Damn it.
Me. He's got the Roadrunner on.
Roadrunner.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool. I like that, he's got so much expression and all that. Like, because, I mean, you look at, he's banging doors with Lauren Healy, who's, like, all corporate all the time.
Right.
And then, like, Paul's just got, like, Ghostbusters on his car, and it's just like,
Exactly.
it's like you couldn't have more of a dichotomy of, like, professionalism there, It's like, he's like, oh, Roadrunner's like a fun cartoon. I'm gonna put that on my car, So, yeah, Paul. I mean, Junkyard Dog. Like, I'll never count out a Junkyard Dog. Like,
hell no.
I think Paul Wolf's got everything it takes to be a king. I'm a huge Randy Slauson fan just because he's the anti. Like he's not supposed to be the guy. And I love that. He's just the guy that puts his head down and works hard and put your money where your mouth is type thing. He doesn't chase all the corporate dollars and stuff.
No.
So I mean that's Randy's always going to be at the top of my list. I'd love to see I think Justin's a budding driver or athlete or whatever you want to call these guys, but I think Justin's he's gonna find that right mix of, mechanical skills, aggression, everything, and it's gonna click for him, and he's gonna do amazing
no
things.
doubt.
And
No
I'm gonna be
doubt.
proud just to say, like, I know that guy.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it's Paul Wolf's definitely gonna be one to look out for.
There's so much great talent, but I agree. Paul Wolf for sure is definitely going to be, as long as the day goes well for him, he's going to be on the podium. I'm predicting he's going to be on the podium. Whether he's first, second, or third, I don't know, but I'm expecting him to be on the podium this year.
I think nobody. I don't know. None of the hardcore 4400 guys like to talk about it, but I think there's going to be a Can-Am on the podium this year in 4400.
Whoa.
I know. So yeah.
That's Cody Miller, right?
Cody, Hunter,
there
Paul
was a few of
Cheney, like whoever, any one of those bumblebees.
I mean,
those cars are so fast.
They were right in the mix last year.
Yeah.
I was watching some of last year's race this afternoon when I got home and eating lunch, and I was just, okay, I'm going to bring up the race from last year, just kind of refresh my memory. And there was this stupid golf cart following. In fact, the golf cart was right behind Randy going through, I think, Turkey Claw right at the beginning, right? And it was like, oh my gosh, it's like, okay, here we go. But, there's so many great, talented drivers and crazy, quote-unquote state-of-the-art cars. But again, I just go back to the simplicity of you need something that is proven on that in that environment. Yeah. And it just, the live valve and all that stuff's cool, but
yeah, I go back to what was the course built in this year? It was built in a Trail Bomber.
Yeah, it was built in a Trail Bomber, right? So what's set up to win the course? So I mean, to see Randy go four-time king, first four-time king would be freaking awesome.
That'd be cool.
To see somebody win it that hasn't, like Paul Wolf, that's new to the scene. That would be cool. Of course, we can't forget about Bailey Campbell, the first queen of the hammers would be cool. I don't
awesome.
know. I'm trying to stay Switzerland here. I got a lot of dogs in this race. Seeing the Wicks get in the mix, Justin and Chris on the podium would be fucking phenomenal.
Oh, it'd be sweet.
I just, now that you guys are out of it, Eric and Kevin, I don't know. I just, it's going to be exciting to watch.
Hell yeah. It definitely won't disappoint.
It's just a matter of a couple years before this Ultra 4 King of the Hammers is bet on in Las Vegas. You know that, guys. It's coming to that. It's going to be like the Super Bowl.
I'm sure it probably already is, actually. You just don't know it.
It's real underground stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Chris at 6 million to 1.
Put my $2
to make it up
down.
Sledgehammer in his Barbie Jeep at 35.
$2 bet. That's a $2 bet. Just gonna fucking send it, whatever.
So I like Ultra4Jones threw down today that he will follow you up any trail that you do, Chris, in your Barbie Jeep. So
yeah,
which is where?
I don't know.
In the White Whale?
The White Whale.
Which
is
the Whiskey Runner.
Yeah, I said today, Chris joined in on my live, and I said, hey, anywhere the Barbie Jeep goes at KoH, I'll follow you in the Whiskey Runner. And so I need somebody else to follow in the Whiskey Runner. Jason?
Let's go. Bring it on.
Sub run? What are we doing?
Yeah, so okay. I'm like,
okay.
If anybody, we need a new. Anyways, okay.
What are you bringing down there, Jason?
Of course. What am I bringing down?
You're bringing the buggy?
The buggy.
Yeah.
That's what I bought it for.
I didn't know if you were going to have time. You guys are always out there smoozing and finding.
Oh no.
Jason finds time to wheel.
We do have a full dance card of interviews down there, but I'm getting down there early and I'm wheeling like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So if you if we can pour you into the right seat, hell, I'll let you drive with one arm. I don't care. The thing drives itself anyways. It's no bomber, but it does okay.
Somebody asked me today, like, you going to be down there wheeling? I was like, man, if I'm going down there wheeling, I'm racing.
Right.
You won't see me in any
okay
down there.
All right. Well, you and Chris can hang out together then.
That's right.
Around the campfire.
There you go, Chris.
You bet. You bet. We'll commiserate on a few things. So we got a listener run that we're going to do, a subscriber run with. We kind of collaborated. We have collaborated with Bronson and Jess from Rec Gear YouTube channel. So that's going to be fun. Sunday, the 5th, February 5th, 10 a.m. I guess Chris is going to be my right seat by default now that I'm just learning. I thought, we picked this trail, so this is Chris's trail. Right.
So maybe Chris can drive the white whale, Kevin.
Careful where you park. Make sure you give him a good step to get out on.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Erik. Thank you. I only have a limited number of ins and outs, But
it's good. Yeah,
exactly.
So that'll be fun. So anybody that's going to be out there Sunday and wants to run, it's going to, Turkey Claw's fun. There's some good lines in there. There's easy stuff. There's hard stuff. You can pick your poison. So,
and what time is that? Are we?
That's at 10 a.m. on 10 Sunday morning. Yep. So at the crack of 10, that gives you time to get up, get your run, your workout, your yoga in, and your chai tea latte, and then or lavender soft top if you're snail trail, then meet us out of the trail. And even if you just want to come hang out, it'd just be a good time. So
that trail's fun. I mean, the one thing on that trail that definitely caught my attention, and both times I was on it, is the exit when you crest the hill and you're dropping back down into the valley. That's a steep mofo, man.
Super steep. Yeah. Does that have a name, or is that just Turkey Claw exit? I mean, is it?
I don't know, but it's steep as fuck.
It should be something like.
Talking the exit to the right or the left?
Yeah, to the right.
To the right.
Get to the top of Turkey Claw and you bang that right, and you're going down a steep, loose hill.
Yeah, that was race course. That was race course last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's as a rec wheeler, I mean, it's gnarly. Racer.
Yeah, especially with an engine in the front and all the weight. And my Jeep was in the front, and I'm like, holy crap, this is kind of getting a little light in the rear. I don't like this.
I lost.
But you had a lot of traction because your seat cushion was like halfway up your.
No, it was sucked. I was attached to my seat quite well, thank you.
Jeez. Yeah, and then what else? Man, there's a ton of concerts going on at night.
Oh yeah, it's a full
so
deal.
Ultra 3 is Tuesday night, same night as the shootout. So I'm torn. I always love the shootout. The shootout got moved from backdoor that they were originally planning, which I thought was going to be a logistical nightmare, and so they finally decided that that's not going to work. And then so they're doing it out by Chocolate Thunder.
Well, and I think that's a good call, because I mean, if you've been to Backdoor, I mean, looking at where they were going to run it, I mean, the view, area for the gallery just isn't big enough. Yeah, exactly.
No.
So there's no place for the spectators to spread out and watch it.
So I know the intel that I got is that Ultra 3 is going to start a little later on Tuesday night. So if you want to go over and catch a few rigs going up, the shootout you can, and then come back over to Ultra 3, but I think I'm just going to stay in camp and wander over to the Ultra 3 shenanigans, because that is just a good time. I mean, literally everybody is there. I mean, you just walk. I walked around the Ultra 3 track twice last year, and you're just, bumping into people left and right that
anybody that's anybody is there.
And it's pretty freaking epic. So, looking forward to that Tuesday night. But Yeah, and then of course the nightly fireworks show and all that. So.
Oh, that's a daily and nightly and all
good.
day long, all night long, and then of course the explosives go off at usually 2 or 3 in the morning. But it's all good.
I'm usually asleep by that time, so
you won't be.
No. I'm a sound sleeper, even at KoH.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else, Eric, Kevin? Wrap this thing up, put a bow on this. Finish packing and get our asses down to the desert.
Yeehaw!
What do you guys look? Yeah. What do you got? What are you looking forward to? What's on your mind to wrap this? Final thoughts.
Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, not much. Just trying to get down there and make some good out of it, and first thing is to get down there and hopefully be down there in time to watch Justin qualify in the 4800 with Woody Rose and then qualify himself in the 4400 and just be his biggest fan and his parts runner, whatever he needs, and just go down there and do what we can to get WFR where it needs to be.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I like it. Wicks Family Racing.
That's right.
Kevin?
I think it's going to be a really special year. I know Eric's bummed out, but I think the whole. I feel like it's going to be a big tribute year to Zandy. Unfortunately, I didn't know Zandy, so I missed out on that. But I think it's going to be a really, really cool opportunity for Eric to spend more time with Zandy's wife and be more involved in that and be more of a fan of Justin and I think once it starts rolling, I think it's going to be really special, like he kind of touched on. And I'm just excited to be down there. It's never the same when you're it's not your car and you're not behind the wheel, but it's such an amazing experience that I just feel really fortunate to be able to go every year, let alone be involved in any capacity at all.
Yeah, well said, and that's a good point. It's just a different role, not one that's planned, but to be a cheerleader and participant in not racing. I mean, that's pretty freaking cool too. So
we all participate and contribute in our own ways.
Yeah, making lemonade out of lemons and keeping the positive attitude. It's great. I am looking forward to hanging out with you guys down there.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to wheeling with Kevin, I guess, since Chris and Eric are out here this year. But all right, whatever. We'll make it happen.
You'll have plenty of people to wheel with, Jason.
I don't know. There's not many people wheeling down there,
Right.
It's very quiet and chill and relaxing. So. Oh my gosh! I got.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Sleep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks to you guys too, as always, for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, thanks for jumping on, Eric, and looking forward to seeing you on the lakebed and Kevin. Yeah, you got your trailer packed full of tricks, and yeah, that'll be fun to
smudge
see you guys
pots
out there and helping out. Yeah, smudge pots, tires. I mean, you got an eclectic mix there, and then helping out the Millers.
I got to start the KoH swap meet. It's got to be the thing. Or something.
That's basically what it's turning into.
I gotta afford these. I gotta afford these race car parts somehow. So I'm selling tires, smudge pots. Myself. I'm selling myself.
Hey,
so.
You sell so well.
Laws against that.
Ultra4 Escort, Chris. This is the thing now.
Ultra4 Escort. So you know what? I'm gonna send you with a case of Element fire extinguishers, so you can sell those for us too. So
yeah,
we're gonna have the Vice Squad's gonna show up, man. It's not gonna be good. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much for being on the show tonight. Sweet. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, gentlemen.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you guys down there. Take care, guys.
Right on. All right. So if you like the show, spread the word, tell a friend, be more than happy to see your reviews on Apple Podcasts. You can send a review and DM Jason on the Instagram, and we'll get you a sticker. And you can also call in to our 800 number. Well, we don't have it. Is it an 800 number? No. has 800 in it.
You're mixing that up with the Ultra 4 escort service.
I know, right?
800 number.
What
is that number, Kevin? Yeah. What is that number that they can call?
The number is 408-800-5169.
Nice! Look at you!
Damn, that's right. 408-800-5169. Leave us a voicemail, and it'll most likely will get played on the show. And
that's so good.
Go ahead, Jason.
No, so that's good. So the only other thing I was going to interject before we wrap up this episode is if you haven't been to KoH, episode 34, go back to episode 34. Right. It was 2020 when we recorded this, and it's still relevant. I just re-listened to it, and everything there is still relevant. How to attend KoH like a pro. So there's good nuggets in there. So check that out. Give us a call. Look us up. Hammertown Heights Estates across from the LED TP Ultra 3 camp. Can't miss us.
There's supposed to be some upgrades to that this year.
There's a lot of upgrades going on. It's that's a whole nother podcast. But we'll be out and about. Look us up. DM me. I'll be checking IG while I've got service, and looking forward to seeing everybody down on the lakebed, and safe travels to everybody. And let's do this. Boone Road.
Boone Road. Love Boone Road.
All right, Chris, with that,
we're out, gentlemen.